Hey there, and welcome into Main Street Living. I'm Danielle Alvari.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Quincy Carr.
I'm Cheryl Nelson. So good to see you guys as always. And guys, I had the most exciting last few days. You know, I'm the vegan, right?
Of the group, yes.
The vegan.
The vegan. I'm very proud of it. But I've got to tell you about something I found. I was in Pittsburgh for a conference and I found a place called the Milkshake Factory. Normally, when I see something like this, I just walk right by it because I'm going, okay, there's no vegan options. Well, I stopped in there and they had several vegan milkshake options. I have not had a strawberry milkshake since I was 13 at McDonald's. Way too happy about this.
Hold up. Look at you like you were dressed nice.
She's
Look at your
radiant
dress.
joy.
It was a conference. I had to dress nice. But
Yeah.
boy, it was such a treat. And you guys don't even know. There's something like that can make your day. And are you guys going back toward veganism? I know, Danielle, you've been on and off the wagon.
Never
I
tried.
try to eat
What's going
mostly
on?
plant-based. I do. I
Yeah?
think my biggest offenders right now are probably chicken and eggs. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I never tried it, but hey, you know what? There's always a chance that I could focus on doing that. Meanwhile, on today's show, we're focusing on giving back through education in a multitude of ways.
that's right. And we're also going to get some skydiving in there to get your blood pumping. And if that doesn't do it, we can tell you how to get more energy from Jim White.
Ooh, I need some more energy because I've been depending on the coffee here. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about groceries and why your bills might be higher. And also, I mentioned the vegan thing, and we're going to talk all about veganism and where you can find the greatest vegan spots. That's coming up next on Main Street Living.
Hey guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, this is something I know Cheryl gets really excited about. Are you noticing, ladies, that the concept of going green has been gaining momentum lately? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that has impacted our lives in many different ways, I believe.
Yes, Q, you're right. And one of those ways has landed on our plates as nearly 90% of Americans are making the change to eat less meat. Diana Edelman is on a mission to make the transition to a vegan lifestyle easy and delicious. Diana, welcome to Main Street Living. So good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, I am the resident vegan here on the show. So, let's start from the beginning. I know the answer to this, but maybe everybody else doesn't. What exactly does it mean to be vegan?
All right. So being vegan means you don't consume or use any animal products or any animal byproducts. From the food you eat, to the drinks you drink, to the makeup you use, your cleaning supplies, the clothing you wear, you are not using anything related to animals, whether it be like the products itself or tested on animals and things like that.
Yeah, and I know I wanted to follow up on this real quick because it's hard to
Yeah.
know. I mean, whenever I buy a new purse, I have to look at all the tags and say, okay, is this vegan leather? How hard is it for you to determine what's vegan and what's not?
I've been vegan for a little more than 6 years now, and I think you just kind of, as you go, you kind of get used to things. So, like,
Mhm.
I know, like, if I'm going to buy a bag, the way leather feels is very different from the way, like, a plant leather feels, or other types of material they're using for leather these days. There's a lot of apps you can use as well that will show you whether a product is vegan or not. You just kind of, you get used to it after a while, but definitely, actually, it's funny because before I went vegan, I actually had stopped buying leather products and things like that, like years before. So you just kind of evolve into it more or less, I think. But you just, yeah, especially with like leather goods and stuff,
Mm.
you can pretty easily spot the difference. And then reading those tags, just like reading ingredients on a cereal box, it just becomes second nature.
Well, I completely agree with you because I'm not currently, but I did go through a period where I tried out veganism and I was trying to figure out what I could actually eat. And it did just get better with time. But my funniest moment was somebody asked me, "What does that mean?" It means no eating animals. And they said, "So can you have eggs?" No. So I think somehow, even with the very clear description
Yeah.
you gave, no animal products or byproducts, how did
Yes.
you become a vegan?
So it's actually like a two-part story. I stopped eating meat before I went vegan. I stopped eating meat when I moved to Thailand. I was working in elephant rescue, and coming home from the sanctuary I worked at one day, there was like a truck full of pigs being taken off to slaughter. And it was just that moment, I was like, oh, like I saw the little heads coming out of the truck, and I'm like, I can never be a part of this again. And then over the years, you know, I haven't had meat since July 2012, and then the rest of it, the dairy, the cheese was hard, the eggs was hard, the pizza was hard, and literally it was this. I would always say, well, you know, I know what goes on, but I'm selfish and I like my eggs, I like my cheese, blah blah blah. And I was with my friend one day, and I was getting ready to move back to the States, and she was like, you know, you're kind of a hypocrite, right? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, you know everything that goes on. You worked in animal rights. You have this information, and you're just, what is it that hasn't clicked? And I was just sat there, and I was like, you know, you're absolutely right. And I just kind of needed to be told that, like, this is what's going on. And by like being complacent, by knowing but still continuing to do it, was just like going against like the core of the person I had become. And so I was like, all right, done, no more. And that was it.
We need those friends to keep us in check.
Right?
Yes, I'm so proud of you for doing that. And I know as a vegan, it can be hard, especially when you're out and you're traveling and you come across a fast food restaurant and you're going, okay, what can I eat here? I don't just want a salad.
Yeah.
So what was your impression of dining out once you cut out the animal products? Was it hard for you to find good meals, or are the plant-based options now making it better for you?
So the reason I actually started Vegans Baby was because I didn't think that it was going to be easy, and I'm not a really good cook, and I really enjoy dining out. And so I started Vegans Baby to kind of document my journey. I remember sitting in Spain where I was at the time, and I was like, okay, I'm moving back to Las Vegas, and pulling up my phone and Googling vegan restaurants, and there were like 4 in the city, and nothing was coming up for vegan. And so I decided that I was going to document like my journey and show other people that where the options for vegan food were in Las Vegas. And over time in 2016, Las Vegas was a very different city than it is today, as is a lot of the US and a lot of the world. We are in a really cool time to be making the decision to go vegan or plant-based, because there are so many options right now. You've got Burger King that's testing out their new Impossible Chicken right now. Taco Bell has vegan stuff, Del Taco. So we're just in a place right now where it's become a lot more accessible when you go out to eat, and restaurants across the country are really starting to understand that vegans make the dining decision when they're in a group of people. And if they don't have these options, or they're offering something like a salad or a baked potato, that it's just not going to get their customers in.
Not going to get it done. And it's funny you mentioned, because I did live in Las Vegas, and I felt like there were a lot of good options. I love living in Los Angeles because there's unlimited amount of option, it feels like. But when I used to live in Wyoming, not a lot of vegan options. So it's slowly spreading, though, I think. And I know you're based in Las Vegas. A lot of your reviews are focused there, but you also travel around the world looking for great plant-based food. What does the vegan food scene look like out there?
Well, I've split my time between Las Vegas and New York. I'm actually talking to you right now from New York. So a city like New York, it's wild how crazy, like how vegan friendly this city is. A vegan raw restaurant just opened last night, and I went to their opening, and it's a 13-course raw restaurant, and it's amazing. It's called Rabbit, and it's internationally, there are certain places where you can absolutely find things, in certain places where it's going to be a little bit tougher. Countries like Thailand have it's such a veggie forward diet oftentimes, that you kind of just have to, if you go up and talk to them when they're making your food, you just have to request no fish sauce. India, a lot of Indian food can be made vegan very easily. Berlin is a hotbed for vegan food. Madrid, Paris, London is huge. I just got back from doing a vegan tour to South Africa, and Cape Town is wild how vegan friendly it is. Like, every restaurant is vegan friendly. They're doing really cool, innovative things at the vegan restaurants. So it really is something that's it's spreading across the world. You just kind of have to know where to look when you're traveling. You do tours to help make it easier. But if you're on your own, there's Happy Cow, which is a great guide, and Google is honestly, it's your best friend.
I love Google. I'm always searching vegan when I travel, but I'm going to put your information in my phone right now. So how can viewers follow you and learn about all of this awesome vegan stuff?
It's vegansbaby.com, @vegansbaby, the whole thing. It's pretty, I try to make it easy as possible.
Thank you so much, Diana. We appreciate you. Whenever I hear Diana, I think Wonder Woman. So you're a Wonder Vegan. We appreciate you coming on.
I love her. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Well, you know that I love that. Just give me a reason to eat plant-based. You know that I used to do it. I got to get back on track with that.
Yeah,
but
you do.
As long
You
as
gotta hold me
everybody
to it.
tries,
Yes.
a Meatless Monday here or there.
Yeah.
Coming up, do you need a reason to give? Because we have a good one next. Welcome back into Main Street Living. Guys, I think we can all agree we want to be happier, right? And feel like our lives have meaning. And research shows that one of the best ways to achieve that is by giving to causes we care about.
Well, Danielle, that's what the science says, and I know that that's true for me personally, right? And our next guest is here to tell us how we can boost our own happiness and also help out some great causes at the same time. Let's welcome Lauren Welch with San Diego Gives. How you doing there, Lauren?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
We are doing pretty good. Now, I got to ask you, like, what exactly is San Diego Gives?
Yeah, San Diego Gives was created last year. In 2021 was our first day of giving last year. It was created really to say San Diego's got some wonderful nonprofits. How do we keep the money in San Diego, and how do we help support people getting to know San Diego nonprofits if they don't know them yet? So yeah, it's 6 months of, we do a lot of capacity building for nonprofits, and then it's a one-day giving day, and that would be September 8th this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know people can give probably around the clock any day of the year, but why have you decided to encourage people to give on that specific date?
Yeah, we have put, that's a really great question. We put a whole bunch of marketing and such towards, like I said, new donors, really getting the word out. I think a lot of people probably don't know who is a good, like, man, I don't know if they're decent, or if they, do they pay their bills the way they're supposed to, or do I know the money's staying here, or how much do they use for fundraising and et cetera. We've done all that work ourselves as a group. So really we allow you to go in and say, oh, I don't know who to give to. You've done the work of figuring out who is a good cause or not, and then they get to just direct support them. That would also hopefully roll right into, maybe I can volunteer for them, and maybe there's other opportunities within that organization that I can give, right? The time, talent, and treasure too.
Yeah, I like that. You guys can give, and then folks can make those choices. But who are the organizations that will benefit from this specifically? And also, how can viewers choose where they would like their donation to go?
For sure. There are 327 of them, so I don't know them by name. Wouldn't that be amazing if I could, in like 30 seconds, do the alphabet
ready?
of them?
Go.
Yeah, I won't make it. So 327 all throughout San Diego, all of different backgrounds: animals, environmental, social, skill, social services, health, aging, a lot of dogs, not of pets. And the best way is the website is sandiegogives.org. And there's a button on the front page that says find your cause. And it allows you to click through and say, like, oh, I want a nonprofit in this area of town, or one that does, like I said, that supports animals. And it'll then take you to profile pages of those nonprofits that you get to view and look at. If you decide to give, you put it in your cart, and then you can even choose a handful and check out all at the same time. And all those funds just go directly to that nonprofit's bank account.
Nice.
Ooh, that makes it a lot more fun to be able to go through and pick and choose, because of course you'd like to give to everybody, but everybody has different passions. And for me, I'm the cat lady, so I'd be going through looking for cats and charities and whatnot. But is this for viewers who only live in San Diego, or are there national organizations represented as well?
Yeah, we do have a handful of national organizations as part of the mix of the 327 that have offices, right? Maybe throughout San Diego, or throughout, the state, or maybe offices, right? That they have different, like the United Ways that have offices in several places. So not just San Diego. The goal, of course, is San Diego by name and by trade. And what would be cool is if every big city had something like this to do the same right in their city.
Yes.
World domination. It's coming next.
Yes.
Spearheaded by Lauren, right?
Yeah.
Now, we also understand that there are some prizes and some donation matches. So tell us how that works.
Super cool. Yeah. So if you to find out about them during the day of, there's an email list on our website. So if you get yourself added, you'll get those updates day of. But we've received sponsors for the day, and we have funds set aside for and they're all broken up between small, medium, and large nonprofits for equity's sake, right? Because if we say the person who receives the most donations during an hour gets this prize, that's not fair if you've got a nonprofit, 100 employees and $12 million budget versus one that's, you know what I mean? It's a lot easier. And those larger nonprofits were better known too. So throughout the day, it's a way to encourage giving, a way to encourage maybe additional giving, or if you're like, man, I really wasn't, but they'll get this cool prize if I do. So we've got we have $53,000 set aside for that day of.
Oh my gosh.
A good amount of change.
Absolutely. How has the response been? Are you getting a lot of people coming out to donate?
Yeah, so we opened up early giving July 16th, which was San Diego's birthday. So that was connected to, San Diego. It's always a little slow, right? Because the day of is normally where the most donations come in. But yes, we do have, I think at last check this morning, $42,000 over the last few weeks, which doesn't feel like a lot. But all of a sudden, day of, it just skyrockets, which is awesome to watch. Literally sit there and watch as it skyrockets.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a literal rocket of money.
Yes, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So lastly, the most important part, Lauren, how can viewers get involved and donate?
Yeah. So going to SanDiegoGives.org and clicking that Find Your Cause button to find and support that nonprofit. Like I said, as well as putting yourself on our email list, which is easy form also on that website, where then you'll get updates throughout the day, as well as, the final update as to how much money we made.
Awesome. That's always good just to see when people are doing great things. And then when you get other people involved and it just starts to spread, like that's the goodness of positivity. So we salute you guys for what you're doing out there in San Diego.
Be on that page to watch it go up. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes. This is really cool. I hope that a lot of other cities do the same thing, because this is amazing what you're doing. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us on Main Street Living.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
Q, that was some good stuff there and a unique way to give. And coming up next on Main Street Living, we're going to talk about a unique approach to education. Find out what that's all about coming up next.
Welcome back in. Now, here at Main Street Living, we love to hear about organizations that are giving back and working to make the world a better place.
Yeah, Danielle, giving back, that holds a special place in my heart. And we all know that one of the best ways to impact the future is, of course, by helping educate the next generation.
I agree completely. So take a look at the incredible impact the Pep Tech schools are having on the students in Arizona.
Buses actually came from a Seminole school district down in Florida, and I bought it for $19,000. It was named La Tortuga, which means a tortoise, and we would drive the bus down to Cerrito. The farm workers coming out of the fields, they would come on board, and we would provide educational classes, everything from literacy to GED, learning how to drive, all the practical things that the students needed to have to actually survive. And this is why we continue that theme today. We take the education to the person's mind. Just like we engage the farm workers on the bus, we have the same philosophy of engaging the students in education and understanding that education does create opportunities and what they're learning is meaningful, and it is something that will take them in their career path. Pep Tech is providing an accredited diploma by the Arizona State Department of Education, just like any other public school in the area, and our education services are free because we are public. We have everybody from migrant seasonal farm workers to refugees, mainstream students, and because of the diversity, I think there's a lot that we can learn from each other. We have a number of campuses. We have one in Sierra Vista, the Colin Powell High School, in Douglas, the Raul H. Castro, Casa Grande, the Alice Paul, Somerton, the Jose Yepes of famous farm worker leader, and of course Cesar Chavez is the one we have in San Luis. We have a great relationship with the school districts and all the communities we operate. They see our need. We get many of our referrals come from the other public schools in the area. It doesn't matter who gets the credit, as long as these kids graduate and go on to college. When I graduated from Pueblo, there was no money. My dad was retired, but the lady from a church stepped up and said, "You can go to college, I'll pay for it." So that's what's motivated me. We need to give these kids an opportunity to go on and succeed. Without a scholarship, a lot of the dreams that these graduates have are dead end because there's no way of going forward. This is what we want to do through our scholarship program. After all, they are our future. And the better we prepare them, the better off the world will be. I think it's very important to go to our website and they can reach out to our organization and even come to our school, make an appointment. They can meet with the staff there, even have a tour when it's able to be arranged. And we're really glad this is not our school. This belongs to the community that taxpayers pay for it. It's their school. We want them to know that we're there and they are engaged, and we want to make a success out of our students.
Wow, ladies, did y'all catch the part where the guy says it doesn't matter who gets the credit as long as the students graduate? I think that's pretty cool.
We need more of that. We need more of that, absolutely. And you can get more information about the PEP Tech schools and what they have to offer on their website, peptex.org. That's with an S at the end there.
All right, another feel-good story there. And coming up next on Main Street Living, do you believe in miracles? Well, if you don't, your opinion might change after you hear our next guest story. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Cheryl, I don't know about you guys, but I know we all have bucket lists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, all the places that we want to go or things that we want to try while we still have a chance. And I don't know about you guys, but just like me, skydiving is on that list.
Yeah.
Oh, I've tried that. I want to do it again. I know our next guest thrives on adventure, fell in love with skydiving the very first time she tried it. And her story is one you will definitely never forget. Please welcome to Main Street Living, Jordan Hatmaker. Jordan, thanks for making time for us today.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
So can you tell us the story of how you first fell in love with skydiving?
Sure. Yeah. Back in 2015, I had a bunch of friends that were into skydiving, and, they just kind of encouraged me to try out a tandem jump. And I said, why not just try something once, So I really loved it. I loved the feeling of kind of flying through the air. But then when I reached the ground, I'm like, man, that was kind of slow. I think on my own would be a lot more thrilling.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. That's so amazing to hear that. And then you just kept doing it and doing it, really fell in love with it. And a jump in November of 2021 changed your life. Now, this one is going to give a lot of people goosebumps. Tell us exactly what happened.
Yeah, sure. I was halfway through my skydiving license training, and it was my 16th solo jump. And I jumped out with a coach. A coach jumped out after me. She gave me some drills to do in the air with hand signals. Everything went fine. And then we went away from each other to pull our parachutes. And I pulled mine, and the pilot chute, which is the small parachute before the large canopy, it wrapped around my leg. So the main canopy didn't come out. So I kind of free fell from 4,000 feet to about 750 feet when my automatic reserve fired. So yeah, it was really kind of scary. I just went into survival mode, strategy mode. And then around 200 feet, my main actually kind of wiggled loose from its bag, and the reserve and the main dragged away from each other and kind of accelerated me to the ground.
Oh,
I mean, this is the kind of thing that people are terrified of with skydiving. It's really a miracle that you survived the fall. What was the recovery process like?
So I endured a spinal cord injury, which is probably the most severe injury. They're pretty rare. I broke my back from a bunch of vertebrae. And so I had a spinal fusion. And then I also broke my tibial ankle area. So the recovery process, it's been a long one, but I spent a month in the hospital. And then I started walking in February, which actually 3 months to the day of the accident.
Oh
Wow,
my
that's
goodness.
incredible.
You hear this and you seem so positive. You're so beautiful. Nobody would ever know this happened to you.
Thank
I want to take you back to that moment, though, when you were free falling and things weren't working. What was going through your mind at that point?
You don't, or for me, I didn't really have time to freak out. I've also been always pretty calm in emergency situations, but I just thought, okay, I have to figure out a way to get this off of my leg. And things just go so much quicker than you expect. From 4,000 feet to the ground, I only had about 20 seconds. So I tried to get it off my leg. I should have pulled my reserve, but hindsight's 2020. And just survival strategy mode. I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it ended up being.
Right. Were you unconscious when you hit the ground?
No, I never lost consciousness, actually. So I do remember everything.
Oh,
Your fight or flight kicking in, that adrenaline probably keeping you awake. It's good to know that it actually works. So you're a living story to tell us that.
Yeah.
That must have been obviously very anxiety producing once everything finally happened. How are you doing now? Do you still have anxiety when you jump or anything like that that's carried over?
I actually haven't jumped yet. I graduated from physical therapy this week after 6 months.
Aw.
Yeah, so thanks. Yeah, I'm sad to leave my physical therapy crew, who's been such a big part of my life, 5 hours a week every week. But I'm excited. I went from not being able to lift my legs to doing leg presses with one leg at
Wow.
110 pounds. So yeah, I'm really excited. I went on a 12-mile hike last Saturday, and
Aw.
and I'm going to Mount Everest in November.
Wow.
So speaking of bucket lists, you've got so much and you're not stopping, which is why you're such an inspiration to so many people. How has this changed your outlook on life? Because I know when you go through a near-death experience, it really opens your eyes about what's important.
Yeah, it really does. I always kind of lived my life to the fullest, but it really opened my eyes to, don't sweat the small stuff. We spend so much time analyzing so many little things in our lives and making a big deal out of things that really shouldn't be. And, when you almost lose your life or, you're almost paralyzed for the rest of your life, you really take those things with a grain of salt. And I'm just so much more grateful for life and for the opportunity to have the mobility that I have.
Yeah.
We all need that message, really. So I'm glad you're here to tell people today. And I know you mentioned you just kind of wrapped up physical therapy, but perhaps going back to start skydiving again, what would pull you back to it?
Yeah, I want to skydive again. I guess, get back on the horse, get back in the saddle. I need to get this. I feel like I need to conquer just this last challenge. And I feel like it'll be like the closure to my whole recovery and this whole accident. Whether I end up going to get my skydiving license again, I'm not sure. I do want to do that, but I'm just kind of taking it one step at a time. I'm going to do a tandem first, and then I'm going to see if I can get back into some solo jumps, hopefully here in the next couple months, September or October. So yeah.
You are so brave, and I know that your story is inspiring so many people. How can our viewers keep up with you, and where can they follow you and learn more about your journey?
Yeah, sure. They can follow me at Oh Shoot Jordan on Instagram. Shoot is spelled CHOOT. J-O-U-R-D-A-N, and Jordan, Jordan.
Oh, wow.
I love
Thank
it.
you
And,
so
and still the
much.
sense of humor with the,
Yes.
the O2.
That's how you got to get through the hard stuff, Just laugh about it.
I love it.
Oh, Jordan, thank you so much for joining us here on Main Street Living.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, Danielle, oh my goodness, she is incredible going to high heights like that. And speaking of things that are too high, are your grocery bills too high? If so, you're not alone, and we'll explain what's going on next. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, if you have experienced sticker shock at the grocery store lately, you are not alone. Inflation is making everything more expensive, but it seems like food prices have really soared.
Yeah. And that's tough on everyone because food, unfortunately, one of those things you have to buy. Rachel West is here with some tips for how we can keep that grocery bill in check. Please welcome to Main Street Living, Rachel. Rachel, thanks so much for making the time for us.
Well, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
So let's dive right into it. What is one of the easiest ways that we can save some money on groceries?
Yeah, so one of the biggest and easiest probably is limiting ready prepared foods. So things like the prepared salads and meals in the deli section or pre-seasoned meats, things like that. But there are some good substitutes that you can make. So instead of pre-cut produce that you find in the produce section, one of my favorites is just going to the freezer aisle instead. You don't lose out on any of the convenience of it because all of these are prepped and ready to go right in the pan or right in your microwave to steam. And you get a variety of vegetables in these like pre-mixed packages. So you don't have to prep all those ingredients or pay for all that extra convenience. Another one of my favorites is so things like boiling bag rice. These are super convenient. You don't have to measure anything. You just throw it in the pan. But instead, use the one that you have to measure the water and you have to measure the rice because, convenience comes at a cost. And so if we can do some of those small steps at home with some of these products, it's going to save you money at the grocery store.
All right. Now, Rachel, you talk about saving money. I know my wife and I, we are the coupon clippers. Okay.
Yes.
So what about using coupons? Okay. Because that seems like an easy way to spend less.
It certainly can be. And I would just say my only word of caution with using coupons is that use coupons for items that you're already planning to purchase. So things that are on your list, things that you're going to buy. But if you just see a great coupon that's like, oh, that is such a good deal, but it's not on your list, like really reconsider that because if it's not something you love or not something you're going to use, then you're really not saving much money in the end.
Okay.
Yes.
Duly noted.
I love both those tips. I have a friend who works in marketing and he talks about how they just call those added value when they give you something that's already pre-cut or things like that. And you're paying more for it, to your point about convenience. Speaking of convenience, kids are back in school and that means we're packing a lot of school lunches. What are some ideas for saving money on those school lunches?
Yeah, so instead of these very convenient little packages, which you can just throw in the lunch boxes, they're so nice, but they cost extra because the work is done for you. So in that case, go ahead and buy the bigger bag, the family pack or the larger containers of things that your kids love or that you love in your lunches, and pre-portion those yourselves. You're going to save even more money if you can use reusable containers. And if you want to, you can go ahead and prep that. Go ahead and pre-portion those on a Sunday or Monday so you can do the same grab and go during the week. And it won't be quite as inconvenient.
Gotcha. So are there ways we can change what we're eating to save money, but still eat the foods we like?
Right. So one of my favorites, and this is also really popular with kids, is incorporating meatless meals into your week. So if you incorporate just one meatless meal per week, meat and seafood, that's the most expensive thing that you're going to get at the grocery store. And it's going to be more expensive if that is a big component of the meal. So if you can switch to even just one per week, that is a huge saver. And one of the most popular ones at my house with my kids is breakfast for dinner. If you're making waffles or pancakes or cheese eggs or even smoothies, that is going to be a hit. And no one has to know that it's budget conscious or a budget friendly choice.
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you something. Like anytime when I was young and I would smell pancakes and it's like 7 p.m. at night, I got super excited. So breakfast for dinner is the best choice.
It does. It feels like, oh, it's exciting that we're doing this, almost like a cheat meal as a kid. And meatless Mondays or meatless meals in general, we know that there's some health benefits to that as well. So all good. How can viewers kind of leverage meal planning services to save money? Are there any options there? What are the benefits?
Right. So I think the benefit of meal planning services like emails, we're a meal planning app. The great thing is that we provide inspiration and organization, and that helps you create your plan. When you have a plan for the week, you have your grocery list, then you can save money. You can adjust your cart until you get to that dollar amount, particularly if you do online ordering for grocery pickup or delivery. And what emails is great about is that we give you 100 recipes each week across our 15 meal styles. We create the shopping list for you, and then it exports out to the shopping grocery pickup or grocery delivery. And that's also a good thing too. Sometimes when you're trying to save money because it limits those impulse purchases at the store.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's part of my problem. Now, Rachel, you are clearly the resource for all of these tips. So how can our viewers get more meal planning tips from you?
Just follow emails on all our social media channels and check us out at emails.com. That would be great.
Emails.com. You know what? I appreciate you because I'm going to try not to get in so much trouble telling my wife that she's been doing it wrong.
Don't say that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right. Now, you know what? We clearly needed to get information about how to save money, but who doesn't need more energy? Huh? Where's Cheryl?
I need it.
Cheryl.
We know Cheryl. We know Cheryl. Yes.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back into Main Street Living, and it's almost time to say welcome back to school. It's back to school season. That was my favorite time growing up, actually, because I'm a recovering teacher's pet. But that does mean that your to-do list just got longer, so good luck with that.
Danielle, you crack me up. And if the extra cup of coffee still is not giving you the energy you need to get through the day, listen up.
Yeah, no fear, guys. Jim White has some tips for keeping your energy levels up now and throughout the year. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Jim White, registered dietitian and certified personal trainer. Living life to the fullest means many different things to many different people. It's important to have more energy throughout the days to be able to live that life to the fullest. Try these exercise and lifestyle tips to give you more energy throughout the day. It's important to get sunlight throughout the day. Getting 10 to 30 minutes each day can increase serotonin levels, a chemical that gives you more energy. Sleep. Nothing gives you energy or better prepares you for the next day like a great and restful night of sleep. Sleep aids in energy conservation, cognitive function, and emotion regulation, all things that are important when it comes to having more energy. Exercise. Exercise like brisk walks and yoga can increase your calm energy and the dopamine levels in your brain. Great for getting you through the rest of your day. Decrease stress. Being stressed out makes for restless and short sleeps during the night. Try practicing de-stressing techniques before you go to bed so that you can have a better night's sleep. This will allow you to be prepared to tackle the stress the next day. Staying hydrated. Dehydration will always lead to fatigue. By drinking your body's necessary amount of water each day, you will keep your mind focused, alert, and ready. Having more energy is vital for living your best life. By following these fitness nutrition tips, you'll have more energy to get through the day. For more information on health, visit jimwhitefit.com.
All right, guys, I love my coffee, but my favorite is the sleep. Make sure you get enough sleep.
Yeah, you definitely got to get enough sleep. And if you want more information for health tips and all, be sure to go to jimwhitefit.com. And straight ahead, guys, we got more of Main Street Living. Stay right there.
Welcome back into Main Street Living, another great show. And I'm ready to take a tip out of Jim White's playbook and just take a nap, get some extra sleep.
Yes, a nap is definitely required, but if you miss any of those tips, you can always go back and catch them on our Cox Contour app.
Ah, absolutely. And guys, don't forget, you can join us 9 p.m. local time for episodes of Main Street Living. We always love coming into your living room, and that's not meant to be creepy at all. So make sure you join us then as we take another stroll down Main Street.